Hey YouTube, Ed here with Jack of All Trades and welcome to another video. So what we're going to do today is we are going to compare the Rossi 92, which is a replica version of the Winchester Model 92, and the Henry Big Boy rifle. I'm going to tell you what I think of both rifles and which one I think I like the best. So stay tuned and let's talk about these guns. And welcome back. So before we get going, as per the usual, I got to go ahead and ask you to go down, hit that like and subscribe button. Make sure you ring that notification bell so you get notified of upcoming videos. And hit me in those comments. If you're liking videos like this, let me know in the comments and I will certainly try to do more of them. So what have we got here? I've got two rifles. I've got the Henry Big Boy chambered in 44 Magnum, which also shoots 44 Special. And I've got the Rossi R92, which is chambered in 45 Long Colt. Now, I'm not comparing these rifles on a basis of the ammunition that they shoot. I'm comparing them on their shootability, their fit and finish, quality, things that are different about them, stuff like that. You can get the Rossi 92 in a variety of calibers, and I do believe 44 Magnum is one of them. I know you can get it in 357 Magnum. You can also get the same thing with the Henry Big Boy. You can get it in 357, 44 Magnum, 45 Long Colt. You can get it in a wide variety of calibers. But functionality, quality, fit and finish, how do these two guns compare? Well, the first thing we have to talk about is the price. When you buy a Henry Big Boy, you're looking at $1,200. When you buy a Rossi in the big bore calibers like 45 or 357, you're looking at somewhere no more than $800, and you can probably get them a whole lot less if you look. I picked up this particular rifle for $589, $590. So you can find them on a pretty good deal. Now, I'm not saying you can't find the Henrys on a pretty good deal too, but they are a considerably more expensive rifle. So let's first talk about the fit and finish. Well, I'm going to tell you right off the bat, the Henry that I've seen or that I'm showing here has got a nicer fit and finish to it. The wood to metal fit up is a little bit nicer on this rifle. The polishing on the wood is just a little bit nicer on this rifle. It's not enough to really make me swoon, but you can tell there's a distinct difference. The hardened brass receiver on the Henry rifle, that's purely an aesthetic look. They did an excellent job of polishing that up. In fact, when I put my hand behind the receiver here, I can actually see my reflection in the receiver, but that's a nature of brass. Rossi did a very nice job of polishing up their receivers as well. So the fit and finish of both guns is pretty good, but I'm going to give just a little bit of an edge to the Henry because they did just a little bit nicer job finalizing and finishing things up and making sure that that fit was absolutely perfect. Let's talk about the action on these rifles. The Henry, like I said in my Henry review on this very rifle, the action is like butter. It is so smooth and it just glides when you run it. It is such a pure joy to shoot. It's exceedingly smooth. The R92 isn't bad, but it is definitely not as butter smooth as the Henry is. I didn't expect it to be because it's half the money, but it is not as smooth as the Henry rifle. Is it that horrible where it was really an issue for me? Not particularly. The only problem I have with the R92 is that this particular rifle is having some feeding issues. And I said that in my last video, and that rifle is actually going back to Rossi so that their gunsmiths can take a look at it and see why the rim of the casings are hanging up on the inside of the action, and they're hopefully going to fix that rifle. That's not something I've experienced with the Henry. The Henry had absolutely no hiccups whatsoever. But when the gun was working, the R92 cycled very nicely. It's just 40 to 50% of the time I would get those cases that would hang up in the chamber or would hang up in the action, and it was really, really annoying. So the Henry definitely has an edge on the smoothness and the functionality of the action. Now, when I get the Rossi back, maybe it might be, hopefully the gunsmiths can fix it, and maybe I'll get a whole lot better feeling out of it. But right now, the Henry beats this thing heads over tails over smoothness of the action and functionality of the action. Accuracy. How accurate with these guns? They were both very accurate. I have no problem with accuracy for either gun. Both the Henry and the R92 put the bullet exactly where I aimed it. The sights were very easy to pick up and acquire. Everything was easy to line up. Everything felt good in my hand. The guns are basically identical for the most part. They both have 20-inch barrels in that respect. They both have a 14-inch length of pull. The Henry is just a touch longer overall than the Rossi, and the recoil on both guns was exceedingly manageable. And when I squeezed the trigger, I hit what I was shooting at with both guns. So I have no problem with accuracy for either one of these firearms. The weight of it, the Henry is actually a little bit heavier rifle than the R92. The R92, if I remember right, is about 7.8 pounds, whereas the Henry is about 8.6 pounds. So there is a pretty noticeable weight difference between the two. The other thing I noticed with the Henry is definitely a little bit heavy in the nose. Most of the weight of this gun is in this nice heavy octagon barrel that they have up front, which actually is not a detriment. To me, that's a positive thing because it really arrests any muzzle flip that might come from shooting that high-powered 44 Magnum round. It's just no issue whatsoever controlling the recoil, and that's very likely or due to the fact that the barrel on this thing is a little nose heavy, and all that weight is forward of the receiver, and it does a really good job of taming that muzzle flip when you're shooting. So the other thing between the Henry and the R92, the one thing that the R92 does not have is it does not have the capability to mount a scope. The Henry Big Boy does have tapped and drilled on the upper part of the receiver to put a scope mount, albeit you have to buy Henry's very specific scope mount, and you have to buy it from Henry unless you find some aftermarket company who's making them after the fact. But it does take a very specific scope mount to mount a scope on the Henry, but it is doable. The R92 doesn't have that option. There are a couple of R92 variants that have a Picatinny rail on it that you can use to mount a scope on it, but this particular rifle does not have it. So between the Henry and the Rossi, what am I thinking about the two guns? The Henry is a fine rifle. It's a better rifle in my opinion than the R92, without a question. But it's also twice the money. If you're working on a bit of a budget, I say roll the dice and pick up an R92. The fact that mine is having feeding issues, I can't believe is the norm. Rossi wouldn't knowingly send out rifles that have feeding issues. This one, something must have got missed in the production. They probably forgot to smooth out an edge or something, and hopefully the gunsmiths can take care of that. But for the money, the R92 is a damn fine rifle for what you pay for it. But when you're buying the Henry, you're buying an heirloom quality firearm, and it's really heads and tails in quality respects far superior to that of the R92. As far as shootability is concerned and accuracy, I can't complain about either one of them. I like the fact that you can put a scope mount on the Henry, but for me that's really a non-issue for me because I have no intention of putting a scope on a lever rifle. It's just not this style of lever rifle anyway. I'm going to keep it iron sight because in my opinion that's the way they're supposed to be. So if you're not concerned about a budget, absolutely go for the Henry. If you are concerned about a budget and you want to reduce a little bit of that weight, the R92 would be a very nice rifle to have in your collection just for those reasons. I would actually have no problem putting both of them in my collection. Just understand that the R92 is half the money, and there's a reason for that because Henry puts a lot more time and effort into fit and finish and finalizing the quality aspects of their rifle than the Rossi does. So I hope you found this video a little bit informative. I hope it helps to give you a little bit of a glimpse in the difference of what you're going to get between these two rifles. And I hope maybe it helps you make a decision on whether you're going to buy one or the other. Personally, I would buy either one. They both are fine rifles for what they are. So let's go ahead and wrap this video up. Now, like I said, if you're liking these kind of videos, please make sure you go down and hit that like and subscribe button. Make sure you ring that notification bell so you get notified of upcoming videos. And hit me in those comments. If you're liking these kinds of videos, please let me know and I'll do more of them. This is Ed with Jack of All Trades. As always, thank you to my longtime subscribers. Thank you to the people who watch these videos. I really do appreciate it. It's the only way I ever ask you for support is to watch the videos and subscribe to the channel and give me those thumbs ups. I really do appreciate it. With that, we will see you on the next video.